Your camera's shutter speed controls two things, and most beginners only know about one. You will soon learn about the other and why it is so important. The shutter is either open or closed. When it is open, light hits the film or sensor and forms an image. When it is closed, nothing is recorded. When you press the shutter release on a DSLR camera, a specific sequence occurs. First, the mirror moves out of the way, then the physical curtain opens and light hits the sensor. After the specific time you set, your shutter speed, the curtain closes, and the mirror returns to its original position. Because the mirror snapping back causes internal vibration, most DSLRs allow you to lock the mirror open to reduce camera shake during extremely long exposures. Keep in mind when the mirror is locked open, you cannot see anything through your viewfinder. You must set your focus and frame your shot before locking the mirror. If you are shooting with a modern mirrorless camera, you have another option, the completely electronic shutter. An electronic shutter has no moving physical parts. The sensor simply turns on to record light for the duration of your shutter speed and then turns off. This entirely eliminates internal vibration and allows for utterly silent shooting. Before we get to the artistic applications, we must establish a foundational rule. The size of the aperture and the amount of time that the shutter is open determine the amount of light that strikes the sensor. This total quantity of light is referred to as the exposure. But shutter speed offers much more than just correct exposure. It can have as much or more effect on creative expression as depth of field. If your intent is to freeze action, an extremely fast shutter speed is needed. A shutter speed of 1/125th or faster will generally freeze action for people and animals. When photographing fast-moving performers, a fast shutter speed is your primary consideration, often starting at 1/500th to prevent blurring. For extreme speeds like catching a racehorse with all 4 feet off the ground, you will want a very high speed like 1/1000th. To increase your odds of capturing the exact right moment, switch your camera to continuous fire mode, taking several images per second. On the opposite end of the spectrum, a slower shutter speed will cause motion to blur. A great example of this is capturing water flowing over rocks. Many people prefer a smooth, velvety look for flowing water. This requires a slower shutter speed and therefore a smaller aperture to balance the exposure. As you decrease your shutter speed to 1.3 seconds, 2 seconds, or even 3.2 seconds, the velvety effect in the water increases dramatically. Using slow shutter speeds opens up entirely new worlds of photography. Traffic patterns. A 30-second exposure will transform auto lights at night into continuous lines. Cityscapes. An 8-second exposure at night keeps stationary objects sharp while moving lights produce interesting streaks. Star trails. Long exposures of the night sky will clearly indicate the rotation of the Earth, making people disappear. A long exposure of several minutes can eliminate people walking on a busy street. Because they don't stay in one place long enough to register on the image, the street will look completely deserted. You might be wondering how you can take a multi-minute exposure during the day without letting in too much light and washing out the image. The solution is a neutral density, or ND, filter. ND filters screw onto the front of your lens and act like sunglasses for your camera, reducing the amount of light coming through without affecting the color. This allows you to use very slow shutter speeds even in bright daylight. If you have a subject moving quickly across your view angle, like a motorcycle, you can use a technique called panning. The basic idea is to match the movement of the camera with the speed of the object. By keeping the center of your frame on the subject and using a shutter speed between 1/30th and 1/250th, you create a photo where the subject is in focus, backed by lines of motion. Finally, capturing lightning requires playing the odds. If you wait to press the shutter until you see a flash, you are already too late. The best method is to set your shutter speed to 10 to 15 seconds with a small aperture and take repetitive shots. The lightning is extremely bright, and on a dark, stormy night, it will be almost all the light your camera will see in a 15-second exposure with a small aperture. A $10 shutter timer remote control can be a massive help for this process. Shutter speed is a fundamental mechanic of your camera, but it is also the key to unlocking how you portray time. Practice freezing action and then practice letting time flow. If you want to dive deeper into this topic, a link to my website book page is in the description. There you will find a detailed description about each of my books, and the book covers are Amazon links. Thank you for watching and keep experimenting. Let's keep it simple.